Welcome to Inflow Communications focus on the contact center. In this session, we're going to cover a fantastic feature found in PureCloud by Genesys. The feature is known as external contacts. There's quite a bit you can do with external contacts, so let's take a look. So our agenda for today will be covering external contacts basics, generally giving an overview of what an external contact does and how it functions. Then I'll actually go into the PureCloud application. We'll create an external contact, we'll search external contacts, and then we'll actually see external contacts in action. So let's talk about external contacts basics. What is an external contact? To make it simple, an external contact is a Rolodex of contacts contained within PureCloud. Every user has access to these external contacts, and the external contacts can be individuals or organizations that your business communicates with as part of an ongoing business relationship or otherwise. Just basically anyone you reach out to on a regular basis. So how are external contacts created? First, external contacts are created individually. You can add them one by one. You can also add organizations and associate multiple individuals to an organization. You can also do a bulk import using a CSV file. So you don't have to manually create them. You can use a CSV file import to create your external contacts. Lastly, you can also use the API built into PureCloud to push and pull data from a CRM, such as Salesforce. So how are external contacts used? Any user on PureCloud, whether you're a business user or a contact center user, can have access to the external contacts. What they offer is quick access to clients through point and click capabilities, quick access to vendors through the same capabilities, basically quick access to anyone listed as an external contact or an organization listed as an external contact. So how does the contact center use external contacts? When an inbound call or an inbound interaction arrives on PureCloud, the caller ID or some specific information about the individual is used to search for an external contact records match. If a match is found, the agent will see the contact known as a profile along with the history of the interactions for that caller, the customer, or the interaction. And we'll see that here in just a moment. Some of the key advantages to maintaining external contacts is quick access to clients, point and click to create a phone call, send an email, etc. Quick access to vendors in the same manner. And quick access basically to anyone listed in the external contact. You also have options for listing the client's website, things of that nature. You also have an interaction history of all interactions. So once an inbound interaction is matched with a profile or an external contact, I can see all the interactions that the customer has called in or sent email or social media previously, all under one umbrella. And lastly, the biggest advantage is easy point and click access for user efficiency. So let's take a look at the interface now, and I will give you an overview of how to use external contacts. So once you've logged into PureCloud, gaining access to external contacts is as easy as navigating to your menu called Directory at the top. Go down to External Contacts, and then here you'll be presented with External Contacts pane. You'll notice there's two tabs. There's your Contacts tab, which lists individual contacts, and you can see here I've got Chris Customer and Chris Customer XYZ. I also have an Organizations tab. And the Organizations tab will list organizations that I've created that may be standalone organizations, or they may have multiple contacts as part of an organization. Let's first take a look at contacts. Before we dive into contacts and the details, let's talk about adding new contacts. On the right-hand side of the screen, and as with most options in the PureCloud application, it's fairly intuitive. If I want to add a new contact, I simply select Add, and the drop-down on the right will present me add a contact, an organization, or do a bulk CSV import. Let's add an individual contact. Here it's going to ask me for some specific information. We'll call this John J. Jones. Hit the next arrow, and it'll automatically present me with more information about this user. So let's give him a title, CEO. Let's give the organization, actually let's save the organization for a bit. Let's give a work phone number. Let's do it this way. Let's give a work email address. And you can also list a personal email. We'll skip that, or some other email. Let's give a work phone number. If you had a cell phone number, you could list that, home number or other, etc. Scrolling down, you can also add, currently PureCloud supports social media via Twitter. You can add their Twitter address here, and then also their address associated with this individual. I'll just grab one that I previously used. We'll go in Los Angeles. We'll select this for California, and zip code, let's go 90048. And then lastly, I can add some notes here on the lower right hand side. So let's add a note, my new note, and let's save the contact. And your contact has been created and saved, and we're ready to go. Now you notice at the top of this contact here that we've just created, it's automatically going to link to interactions over the last 30 days. You can always change the date by going forward or backward based on what you need to see. Now that we've added the contact, let's go back into external contacts, the other left. Oops, let's make sure I save this. All right, now I've saved the contact. All right, now let's take a look at organizations. When I navigate to organizations, I have an organization here. To create a new organization, go to the right, do the drop down, go to organization. Let's call this my new organization. Hit the arrow to the right, and it will automatically present me with the form. I can give an organization type, maybe it's a vendor. I can list websites. Let's do bing.com. And then again, I can just add address. I'm going to use address I've used previously just so that we can move this along. So we'll take Los Angeles, I'll take California, and we'll do a different zip code this time. And then a primary phone number, we'll do 760 555 1717. If I had an extension, I could add that, or fax and or Twitter, and then I also have interactions down below. Now, one of the things you'll notice here is that under the organization which I'm about to create, or which I'm about to save, under the organization which I'm about to save, you'll notice there's a contacts window. On the right hand side, I can add a contact, I can add a new contact or an existing contact. Let's add John Jones to this organization. And you'll notice here that I see my contacts, add John Jones to the organization, and then come back up here to save. And my organization has been created. And when I pop into the organization, I will see the contacts and associated information. Now let's go back to external contacts. Let's go a little bit deeper into each one of these options. Let's go back to our contacts here. One of the key advantages of external contacts is that I can place phone calls, reach the user specifically through the links. Now you'll notice on the right hand side of John Jones, we created an email address we included as well as a phone number. You notice that I can simply use the point and click here to get to those options. But if I'd like to take a closer look at John Jones contact, simply select the contact. You'll notice my links are now on the left. I can hover above, and if you have multiple phone numbers, you'll see multiple phone numbers. And I can initiate a call here, or I can send an email. So it's very straightforward to make the contact. And you can see how it gives us efficiency capabilities for the user. Now let's go back to external contacts at the top. Let's go into organizations. Now when I populate or open up an organization, my new organization is the one we created today. Let's pull this open. I can see the website here, a link on the left. The organization type is an external organization. I can view this address on a map, and I can call this organization directly by point and click. So you can see how easy it is to use the contacts or organizations and as a Rolodex, so I can become a power user. Let's go back to external contacts. And with that being said, the last option that we didn't show was doing a bulk import. If I navigate on the right and I want to add context and do a bulk CSV import, we're going to be taken to this option here to upload our file. Because the file format needs to be in a certain format, you can go to the link on the left, download a sample setup file, and it's going to give you the context. We're going to open the file so we can look at it. It's going to tell you how the file should be formatted and in what context and what information is utilized for the import. You can see here at the top, let's grab everything and open up these options here. You can see at the top here it's going to give me all my headers and information. You can use this as a way to import all the details into your contact. If you have hundreds of contacts, this is what you would want to utilize, but the information is self-contained within the PureCloud application. The sample file is there. That's the best way for you to affect and import contacts through a file. Now if you use the API option, you'll be doing the import on the back side, and that's for a different session. Let's go back to external contacts here, and let's take a look at how we can use external contacts. Now, I'm going to take it from the business user perspective, then we'll go into contact center. So let's go back to John Jones. If I want to call John Jones, hover over the icon on the left, the phone number pops up, and I can place the call. Now, the system's going to contact me first because I wasn't connected to the system. Now that I'm contacted the system, it's going to then place the call for me, and you're not hearing that, but that's how the system operates. Let's go ahead and terminate the call here. We hung up. That's how you would place and make phone calls. You can do the same thing with email here as well. If I saw an email here, a selected email, it's going to ask me which email platform would I like to use. Now, if you have Outlook or Outlook 365, that would already be configured. You would simply select the option as well. So you can see how that works as a quick hit Rolodex for users. Now let's go back to external contacts here. Now I'm going to log in as an agent. Now for agents, you will use the upper right hand corner to go on queue. Now that I'm on queue, I'm blue, and you can see on the left hand side it is going to present me with my interactions pane. I can dismiss my contacts here by expanding the window. Now let's place an inbound phone call.
Welcome to the Inflow Communications PureCloud demo. Please press 1. Welcome to the Inflow Communications PureCloud demo. Please enter your 4-digit account number, then press pound. You entered 1002. I'm sorry, that account does not exist. Please try again. Thank you. Your call is now.
Now watch as the call comes in. So there's our call coming in. And two things happened. First, if you look on the right-hand side of my screen, remember earlier I suggested that PureCloud will look to identify the inbound interaction, find an external contact, and match it to the individual. You'll notice that for this caller ID of 323-333-0648, it found a contact on the right-hand side. And this belongs to Chris, customer XYZ. Now, if this is the correct contact, I can simply use the arrow on the right-hand side. And now I can view the contacts. And more specifically, not only do I see the contact information below, I'm also seeing the last several interactions. And I can see that this caller called in on December 5th. It lasted 33 seconds. December 5th, we had several calls. You'll notice on the right-hand side, you also have the users that show up here, as well as the notes or the outcome of the call. Now, what you'll typically see is this note here says sales successful. This is the actual wrap code that hit the contact center the last time this individual called. If I had notes below that, it would show a quick note here. So you can see how the system is intelligently set up to look for a contact and to present the previous historical interactions to the agent. Since today's focus for contact center is largely focused on customer service excellence, this becomes a fantastic tool to empower your agents with more information about the caller. Now let's talk about how else we can use external contacts. Let's say I have this user, this customer is called in and I need to put them on hold or transfer their call to another destination. I can simply reach up to the uh, call controls, place the caller on hold, navigate over to consult transfer. Now, here's what happens next. When I type in a username, it's going to attempt to match users on the system as well as external contacts. Now you'll notice here, external contacts, there are two matches. And if this is the number I want to transfer this individual to, I could transfer the call and consult. A secondary call will be started. That's the call ringing in there. I'll answer the call. And then I have options here that I can cancel the transfer, finish the transfer, or mute the transfer. And in this case, since this is for example purposes only, I'm going to cancel the transfer. So we'll hang up on the transfer. I'm returned to my original call. And hopefully what you're seeing here is the benefit of external contacts is that I can get to individuals quickly from within the system while on a call or navigating down to external contacts. It's an invaluable tool for the contact center, and I hope that this helps you better understand the utilization of external contacts.